Yo, what's going on, everybody? Today's video, we're going to be doing an updated positional tier list. So I've done a couple of these already. Feel like with all the content drop that happened, there's plenty of cards, plenty of new things to have updated this positional tier list. So we're going to go ahead and do it. Before we do, though, make sure you hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Turn those notifications on. Leave a like on the video, and in the comment section below, let me know what you think about this positional tier list and if you agree with it or not. And of course, remember, this is what I feel like is my tier list. It's gonna probably differ from yours. Don't be upset about it. We can have a difference of opinion. We can agree to disagree. This is what I feel like is the tier list. And like I said, we're gonna disagree most likely. That's okay. Don't be upset. And also, do not tell me in the comment section, I can't believe you didn't put this person there, because all I'm going to tell you is this is how I feel that the tier list should be, as I've already said in this intro. So, again, this is what I feel is my positional tier list. I'm going to give you my thoughts and whatnot. All right. Let's go ahead and get into the tier list. If you guys watched the last video, you know that I have partnered with Shaolin Trading. Shaolin's one-on-one program taught me how to trade stocks for myself. And because of that program, I've been able to become successful trading. And that is a huge reason why I get to do what I love to do, which is pump out videos for you all. So if you're searching for a skill that not only generates income, but also offers a more flexible lifestyle, then do yourself a favor and check out the link in the description below. Make sure you use code REBEL for a discount. And if you have any questions, make sure you message me on Twitter/X, or you can also reach out to me through email, pitchingrebel1@gmail.com, if you have any further questions. All right, let's go ahead and grow Shaolin together. Before we get into the tier list, though, make sure you hit me up on Twitter at pitching_rebel, or through email, pitchingrebel1@gmail.com, if you'd like to learn how to make endless stubs like I do. As you can see, I'm currently sitting at over 4.8 million stubs with every card in the game. And that's because I know how to use the marketplace in order to make endless stubs, and I never have to struggle with stubs or getting whoever I want whenever I want. Also, as you can see, we do have some collections coming up, including a Legend and Flashback collection coming up on Sunday with more collections as well. So you're gonna need a lot of stubs. If you're tired of not being able to get these collections as soon as you want to get them, hit me up on Twitter. I can fix that at pitch_rebel, or through email, pitchingrebel1@gmail.com, if you want to never have an issue making stubs again. All right, let's go ahead and get into the tier list. So we're going to start off with the catchers. And the way that I do this tier list, and I've done it every single time, is I go strictly off primary positions. I don't go off secondaries. I know some guys can play catcher and other positions and whatnot. I'm going strictly off the primary position. That's just the way I've done it this year, and that's the way I'm going to stick to it. So if you tell me in the comment section, why isn't somebody like Ike Irish that could play catcher in the catcher tier list? It's because, again, I'm going strictly off primary position. So, S tier for me, obviously Big Dumper, Will Smith easy makes it. Carlos Santana, Adley Rutschman, I think are still S tier guys. And then Mike Napoli, you can argue that he's an S tier. Maybe he's A tier, but he's got really good hitting attributes. He can definitely crank that S tier for catchers. Now, A tier though, we're gonna have Posada. Honestly, for me, I could have easily put him back at the S tier because I think he's so good, but the attributes, they don't match up with the other guys that are up there for sure. Jason Varitek, another guy that could have been fringe. S tier, very good swing and great and pretty damn good hitting attributes. He kind of missing a little bit against righties. If he was better against righties, he'd definitely be in the S tier, but A tier for sure. Hunter Goodman is in the A tier for me. I think he's got some good attributes and a pretty good swing. Joe Mauer just doesn't have the power against lefties. Caden Bodine, a switch hitting catcher, very good hitting. Contact wise and clutch, it's just the power is lacking a little bit. If he had more power, like both of those power numbers were above 80, or at least 82 against right, and I don't know, 78 versus left to start with instead of 75, 70, you can make the argument that he would have cranked that S tier because his hitting is pretty good and he has a nice swing. Now we have B tier. We have the Mariners draft pick. I think it's Stevenson or something like that. I can't remember exactly his name. Then we got Grandal and Kyle Schwarber. Then in the C tier is Alex Kirk, Bo Naylor, and Salvador Perez. And then the D tier is that new tops now, Patrick Bailey. Great defense, just not very good hitting. So that is the tier list for me. And for the catchers, we're going to be moving on to first basemen next. So now we got the first baseman. And S tier, Gil Hodges still makes the S tier. Frank Thomas, I think, is a pretty damn good first baseman. Vlad Jr., I think, is another good one. And then Yandy Diaz is another really good one. Right now, honestly, primary first base is probably the weakest position that we have currently in the game. Funny to say because there's so many good hitting first basemen, but we just haven't got those really good hitting first basemen yet. So, in my opinion, yeah, first base is probably the weakest. But A tier, we're gonna have Freddie Freeman. You could make the argument he's the S tier, but that contact versus lefties, it was a lot higher. You know, instead of being 100, was over 110, then you definitely have that argument that he's a S tier guy. And we're gonna have the home run derby Matt Olson, and then Jonathan Aranda. You could have made an argument that he's probably should be B tier because his power against lefties is not very good, but he is really high contact versus both, great clutch, and then the power against righties is really damn good. So that's why I put him in the A tier. B tier, we got Pete Alonso. I wish Pete Alonso would have really earned the MVP because he would have had an insane card, and he definitely would be the best first baseman in the game. But because he didn't earn MVP, he ends up only with that 96 overall, and he's in the B tier. Next, we got the Spotlight Kurtz card. Great against righties, good clutch, just not very good against lefties. So that's why I put him in the B tier because you do have to platoon him, in my opinion. Next, we're going to have the draft pick for the Brewers, and then Michael Bush in the B tier as well. Another guy like Kurtz, where he's great against righties, good clutch, but not very good against lefties. Platoon bat. And we got Richie Sexton in the C tier, and then the D tier is going to be that Willie McCovey and Hank Greenberg. So that's the first baseman. Like I said, very weak class for primary first baseman. Next, we'll be moving on to the second baseman. Now we got the second baseman S tier, easily Ketel Marte. You got Bobby Grich, awesome attributes. The only thing is his swing isn't the greatest, but his hitting is insane for a second baseman. And then last but not least, I put Gleyber Torres there because his hitting is really damn good for a second baseman, and he has a top-notch swing in the game. So I'll give him in the S tier. Then the A tier, we're gonna have the home run derby Jazz Chisholm. We're gonna have the draft pick for the Giants. And we got Trey Turner and Brendan Donovan. Yeah, Brendan Donovan does make it. He has really good hitting for a second baseman. B tier, we got Joe Morgan, Brandon Lau, and the draft pick for the Royals. And then the C tier, we're going to end up having Soriano, Altuve, Rengifo, and Brian Roberts. And then the D tier, easily Jackson Holiday, Ian Kinsler, and Brian Dozier. So obviously, you're going to want to pick out of the S and A tiers. And then if you can get Ketel, I think Ketel's the best second baseman in the game. Yes, his hitting is maybe attributes are maybe not as good as Bobby Grich's, but his swing is top tier in the game. Easy a top 10 swing. I would say even top 5 swing in the game, honestly. That is the tier list for the second baseman. Next, we'll be moving on to the shortstops. All right, we got the shortstops. We got a little bit more to pick. There was a lot of shortstops in the draft this last draft. So S tier, you got Ethan Holiday. Ellie De La Cruz, in my opinion, makes the S tier. He has a top-notch swing in the game, easily in the top 10 swing. For me, he's one of my favorite swings currently in the game. That two-handed swing they just gave him this year, in my opinion, has set him over the edge. He's always had a good swing, but he had the one-handed finish swing for his first 2 years, and now he's got the two-handed finish swing. It just, I don't know what it did, but it just makes it that much better. We got Brooks Lee and then Willie Castro still in the S tier for me. I mean, he's got, arguably, if not the best, the second best probably hitting attributes all the way around for a shortstop still. So Willie Castro still makes the S tier. It's crazy to say because he came out so long ago. A tier, you're going to have Corey Seager. Eli Willits, only because his hitting is great and his fielding and speed are great. He could be S tier. The only reason why I have him in the A tier is because that dumb ass leg kick, load, whatever stance they gave him is just annoying, where it does not get the foot down, which is very annoying because his swing is actually very fast. It's just he doesn't get his foot down. So catching up to the really hard stuff is damn near impossible with him. So that's the reason why I put him in the A tier, because I'm factoring that as well. Then we're going to have Francisco Lindor, CJ Abrams, Bobby Witt, JoJo Parker, the pick for the Arizona Diamondbacks, Cunningham, Jacob Wilson, Arquette, and then Derek Jeter. I think those are all A tier guys. For shortstops, then we got Billy Carlson. We got the Reds draft pick, Willie Adames. And we got Jeremy Pena, Michael Young, another of the Orioles draft pick. We got the Guardians draft pick, the Rays draft pick, and then the Twins draft pick cards, all in the B tier. Then we got Colson Montgomery in the C, and then Barry Larkin in the D tier. Just never smells the field ever. Those S tier guys, I feel like those are the guys that you want at shortstop. Willie Castro is very cheap now, and he's still a top top two shortstop, whatever you want to call it, in the game still. So an easy pick from the S tier to get into your lineup. So that's going to be the shortstops. Next, we're going to be moving on to the third baseman. So for the S tier and the third baseman, we're going to have Jose Ramirez. Yes, I do still think Scott Rowland's in the S tier. We got Junior Caminero. And then we're going to have Chipper Jones and Vladdy Jr. Yes, I already mentioned Vladdy Jr. earlier, but remember, the All-Star card is a first base card. This prospect card is a third baseman, so he had to be put in there. I think those 5 guys are S tier. A tier, we're going to have Gavin Fiend. We got Cal Ripken Jr., Manny Machado, Terry Pendleton, Nolan Arenado, and Casey Schmidt. And then in the B tier, we're going to have Alex Bregman, Jazz Chisholm. I know we've got him there the second baseman, but remember, again, this spotlight card for Jazz Chisholm is going to be a primary third baseman. So that's why we put him in the third base. Tony Perez, Rafael Devers, Eugenio Suarez, the draft pick for the Brewers, and then another draft pick for the Royals. In the C tier, we're going to have Young, the draft pick for the Astros, and then Isaac Paredes. And then in the D tier is the tops now, Matt Shaw. He just doesn't match up to any of the other cards. If you're going to go with somebody, in my opinion, from the S and A tier, preferably S tier, and there's a few guys in that S tier that are not very expensive, especially Chipper Jones. He's super cheap, so you can easily get him into your lineup. And even though his attributes are probably the worst out of all those S tier guys, his swing is elite, and Chipper always plays above his attributes, and it's still very good hitting attributes regardless. Those are the third basemen. Next, we're going to be moving on to primary left fielders. We have our primary left fielders, S tier, and not even close to anybody else. In my opinion, it's going to be Kyle Schwarber and Ted Williams. Those are by far the best 2 left fielders. It's not close. Then in the A tier, we're going to have DePaula. We're going to have Riley Green. We got Tim Raines and the spotlight James Wood. Then in the B tier, we're going to have Stephen Kwan, the home run derby James Wood, Kyle Stowers, Tommy Pham, Ian Happ, Yoshida, Jock Peterson. Even though he's been out for a while, I still think he has really good hitting attributes regardless. Jason Dominguez, very good swing, decent hitting attributes. You got the Chili Davis in the B, Jordan Alvarez, the All-Star card. We got Jarren Duran and Jim Rice. And then the C tier, we got Adam Dunn. And I still think Anthony Santander is one of, an option that could be used switch hitter. Not the best hitting attributes at this point in the game, but still very usable, especially with the swing that he has, a very good swing. In the D tier, we got Alex Gordon and Ryan Ludwig. So that's the left fielders. Of course, Schwarber and Ted Williams are by far the best. I didn't include the 97 overall Schwarber because if you got the 97, it's very easy to get the 99. And why would you use the 97 over the 99? That's going to be our left fielders. Now we're moving on to center fielders. All right, so we got our center fielders. Obviously, easy in the S tier is Carlos Beltran. He's not going to move from there all year. We got Cody Bellinger and then Byron Buxton. Those are my 2 other S tier guys. A tier, Andrew McCutchen could have been in the S tier for sure, but I think he just misses it. Joe Adell, O'Neal Cruz. Only reason why O'Neal Cruz isn't in the S tier, his hitting is amazing. It's just his defense isn't very good. And then we got Mickey Mantle. Very sad to say that he's in the A tier because he's got one of those loads that does not get their foot down on time, and it's just very hard to turn on pitches with him. But he really should be in the S tier because his hitting attributes are great, and he's also a switch hitter. But again, he doesn't get his foot down. Javi Baez, A tier, definitely could have been the S tier. I don't know. I just don't see him matching up with those other guys that I put up there in the S tier, but he is very good nonetheless. B tier, we got Pete Crow Armstrong, we got Cam Canarella, we have the pick for the Tampa Bay Rays, we got a pick Conrad from the Cubs, and then we got another guy from the Orioles. The Orioles had a bunch of picks in the first round, and he's in the B tier for the center fielders. C tier, we're going to have Neville. And then we're going to have Willie Mays, Grady Sizemore, Evan Carter, Springer, Cedric Mullins, and Julio Rodriguez. And then the D tier, Brendan Doyle just doesn't match up with any of those cards. That Doyle is just basically defense and really good clutch. Besides that, his hitting is pretty damn bad. So that's going to be our primary center fielders. Next, we're going to be moving on to the primary right fielders. All right, so we got our right fielders S tier. I think Aaron Judge easy makes it. I think Kyle Tucker is an S tier guy. I think Ike Irish is an S tier guy. He has really good hitting. I think Berkman makes it, and so does Bryce Harper. Yes, Bryce Harper, the Retro Lightning. I still think he is in the S tier. He has really good hitting and a great swing. A tier, we're going to have Gary Sheffield. Juan Soto could have made an argument where he should be in the S tier, but his defense is really damn bad. So I think that, putting him in right field's, just crazy to put him out there. And that's why I didn't put him in the S tier. Same thing with Gary. Gary has really good hitting. It's just trust his defense out there. Brent Rooker, another card that has really good hitting, just bad fielding. So we'll put him in the A tier. And then Nick Castellanos, I think, is still an A tier kind of guy. Could you make the argument where he should be in the B tier? Sure, but I don't think that A tier is a bad spot for him anyway. Then the B tier, we got Addison Barger, we got Hank Aaron, we're gonna have Ryan O'Hearn, Seal. You could make the argument that Seal should be A tier, but I think his hitting and the clutch, or hitting against righties in the clutch, just don't put him in the A tier. That's why I put him in the B. We got the All-Star Ronald Acuna, we got Alec Burleson, and then the tops now Teoscar. And then the C tier, we're gonna have Tatis. My goodness, did they butcher that Tatis card? Very sad to see because I would have loved to have a really good Tatis, but not yet. Then we got Laviolette, Sammy Sosa, Billy Williams. We have a tops now. I don't remember what card that exactly is, but it's tops now from the A's. Corbin Carroll, and then Lawrence Butler. And then in the D tier, we got the tops now, Wilyer Abreu. That is the right fielders, and that's going to conclude the position players. Next, we're moving on to pitching, specifically the starting pitchers. All right, so we have the starting pitchers, and there's a lot of them, right? We got a bunch of starting pitchers now, especially after the draft. We'll go S tier first, obviously. And I think these are the guys that just stick above and beyond. We got Roger Clemens still in the S tier. We got Al Leiter, disgusting. And then I think Clayton Kershaw, honestly, the 99 overall is the S tier because his delivery is so funky and so tough to read that it just puts him up there for me, in my opinion. A tier, Nate Pearson, I still think is an A tier guy. Garrett Crochet, Corbin Burns, Roy Halladay. Usually Roy Halladay's in the S tier, but this 98 overall, what they did to him is they did not give him the cutter that he usually gets, which is a very hard cutter. It's usually upper 90s, and this cutter is more like low to mid 90s, and I feel like that kind of throws him off a bit. What made him so special, in my opinion, is that cutter being so hard and broke so much. Super tough to pick up. Super, a pitch that you can tunnel with that sinker really well. And being the fact that it's slower now, it gives him more time to pick it up. So that's why I have him in the A tier, not the S tier. We got Liam Doyle. I thought this card was going to be really good, but he has outlier on his four seam, and that's why I thought he was going to be really good. But he has a fake outlier, in my opinion. When I used him, he rarely threw, he usually just threw 99, 100. And I don't think I ever saw him get up to 102, 103 like, Roger Clemens does with that outlier. Nate Pearson does with the outlier consistently. Liam Doyle has what I call a fake outlier. It's just there for show because it doesn't really do exactly what the outlier does, and that's why I don't think he's that good. But he had the makeup. It's just, again, he has that fake outlier. We got Tariq Skubal, Greg Maddux, Brandon Woodruff. We have Witherspoon from the Red Sox. Now, that's a card that I probably should try. I don't know. He has outlier in his four seam. Now, I don't know if it's a true outlier or if it's a fake outlier, just like Liam Doyle has. That's one thing I do got to see, but his control is pretty bad. So that's why I put him in the A tier. We got Max Fried, Paul Skeens, Yamamoto, Zach Wheeler. So that Twins pick, he has a sinker cutter combo, and they actually have really good break on it. So and his cutter looks like it's pretty quick. It's like it shows 94, so he probably throws anywhere between 94 to 96. So that's always nice to throw a hard throwing cutter like that. I haven't really tried him, but I put him in the A tier because he does have the sinker cutter combo, and he does throw the cutter pretty hard. And his sinker has like 99 break, and he throws like mid to upper 90s. And we got Jacob Mizorowski, Randy Johnson, John Don, and Shohei Ohtani. I still think are A tier guys. John with the outlier slider and outlier four seam, super slow forkball. Always tough card. Doesn't matter what his overall is. And then Randy, you got that outlier fastball that always gets up on you, no matter what, because he's freaking 20 feet tall, and he feels like he's throwing from 40 feet away. And then Shohei, I put him in the A tier because his per nines are really good. He has a sinker cutter combo. Only thing is his control does suck, but he does have one of the better per nines for a starting pitcher, especially because he plays up every day because of inside edge. Then we're gonna have Yu Darvish. We're gonna have the lefty Dodgers pitcher. I think his name is like, I can't remember exactly, his Root or something like that. Yeah, I think it's Root. He has a sinker cutter combo. He just doesn't throw the cutter very hard, so that's why I didn't put him in the A tier. But he does have a sinker cutter combo. Tyler Bremer, Cade Anderson, Logan Webb. Logan Webb, you can make the argument he's A tier because he has a sinker cutter combo. I just don't think that the cutter, he throws it hard enough though, and that's why I didn't put him in the A tier. We got Jamie Arnold, Seth Hernandez. Seth Hernandez, I don't know why they didn't give him outlier on the four seam. Kid throws absolute piss. You know, touching 100 in high school and stuff. I think he should have got outlier, but whatever. That's why he didn't crank the A tier, because he didn't get the outlier in the 4 seed. Hunter Brown, we got Jacob DeGrom. DeGrom does not have outlier, so that's, you know, that's why he's not in the A tier. And we got a Padres pick. We got Jose Soriano. We got Christopher Sanchez. And then we got Brian Bello, Nolan Ryan, Quinn Priester, and Charlie Morton, rounding out the B tier. Then we got Marcus Stroman, Jim Katt, Mackenzie Gore, Sonny Gray, Freddie Peralta, Joe Ryan, Robbie Ray, Brian Wu, Chris Sale, Andrew Abbott, Reed Detmers, and then Pedro Martinez in the C tier. And then the D tier for me is Kikuchi, Lucas Giolito, Bubic. We got Shane Smith and Matthew Boyd. I mean, there's some guys in the C tier that could have easily been D tier. That's just really interchangeable. The C tier and D tier are the guys I would never ever use. Probably B tier. There's some guys maybe, but I want to stick strictly to S tier and A tier. You guys saw my God Squad, what my rotation was yesterday. So that's, you know, obviously I have 3 guys from the S tier, and the top 2 A tier guys are in my rotation. So that is the starting pitchers. And then last but not least, we're moving on to the relievers. We got in the S tier, Aroldis Chapman, easily 97 overall. Aroldis might be the best reliever in the game currently, in my opinion. If not number 1, he's definitely top 2. We got Darren O'Day. That Darren O'Day is still very damn good, very tough to hit. He paints everything, and he's just a pain in the ass to hit still. Justin Robleski, Felix Bautista, Adrian Morejon, I think are all S tier guys and should be in your pen. Bautista has that super funky release point, tough to pick up, and then has that outlier fastball and splitter that both look the same, very hard pitches to pick up, you know, consistently off each other. They tunnel really well, and because of that funky release that he has, Robleski has a funky release. Morejon has outlier sinker, has that cutter, hard cutter, and he can paint everything just like Robleski. Then the A tier, we got Danny Kalum, Andrew Miller, Robert Suarez. We got Lee Smith, Joe Nathan, Adam Ottavino, Emmanuel Clase, Jason Adam, Evan Phillips, Blake Trinan, Ben Joyce, Randy Rodriguez, Devin Williams, Munoz, Aaron Bummer, and Matt Strom. And then the B tier, we got Jesse Chavez, Dennis Santana, Camille Doval, Griffin Jacks, Raisel Iglesias, Sir Anthony Dominguez, and Josh Hader. And then in the C tier, which I didn't do a D tier, but the C tier, we're going to have Dennis Eckersley, Edwin Diaz, and Ryan Helsley. So S tier, I think those guys need to be in your pen. And then from there, you just pick out of the A tier, in my opinion. Those are the best relievers in the game. So this is my positional tier list. It's probably going to differ from yours, and that's okay. We can agree to disagree. But again, I'm not changing my tier list based on what your opinion is. This is what my opinion is, and that's what it, you know, there's a reason why I made my tier list the way I did. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Turn those notifications on, leave a like on the video, and in the comment section below, let me know what you thought about my tier list. Again, we're not going to 100% agree on the tier list, but that's okay. We can agree to disagree, all right? Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you in the next video. Love y'all. Peace.